Once again, the area known as the coastal plains of Texas was in a severe drought. Successful hunters know when planning a trophy deer hunt that water can play an important role. That's why this year we decided to hunt Windmill Whitetails. Goliad County, an area rich in trophy whitetail and Texas history. The city of Goliad's diverse past is well represented by many old buildings and architectural sites. These sites and the friendly people make a stop here enjoyable for all. Nearby is Goliad State Park in Presidio, La Bahia. La Bahia has existed under 9 different flags and is the oldest fort west of the Mississippi. It was also the site of Texas' first declaration of independence from Mexico in 1835, and the first flag of the new Lone Star State was made and flown here. Next to La Bahia is the gravesite of Colonel James Fannin and his men, who lost their lives in the struggle for Texas independence. This massacre prompted the war cry, "Remember Goliad." Before beginning our trophy hunt in Goliad County, let's join outdoor writer W.R. Tony Dukes, who has been hunting whitetail deer for over 25 years, and professional cameraman Ronnie Bradford on an earlier hunt in Central Texas for does and cull bucks. Our guys couldn't resist the opportunity for some fresh venison while contributing to a ranch's game management program. Today's menu did not include the quail and turkey that were so abundant on the ranch, so our hunters found a great-looking area for deer. After deciding on best camera and shooting positions, Ronnie and Tony quietly got in their tree stands that they located along a creek's edge. After just a few moments, a nice little cull buck approached from the creek's bottom. The little buck took its time before giving Tony a shot. Watch as the stop action dramatically shows the arrow going completely through the buck, putting him down in 7.5 seconds.
All right. Steak dinner since this is 2 lungs. Let's go find my deer. I'll leave this here. Have an excellent blood trail. As you can see, all this is mixed up with the dust. Bright red. this isn't going to be much of a problem. Can't beat this. All right. A nice 3-point. Since this is not a double fork horn or two split horns, it's considered an inferior deer gene-wise, and the ranch we're hunting on has encouraged us to take this animal out of the herd. It is felt that if the deer had fork horns are better, it would be a better buck and mature better. So we have got us a healthy deer, and be some great eating, and we've contributed to the game management and the production of trophy bucks. He went about 40 yards, I guess. As you can see, I believe it's going to be both lungs and a heart. That's a full house for a bow hunter.
Late in December, Ronnie and Tony now head to the Shar Ranch, just south of Goliad, in hopes of tagging out on a trophy buck or a tasty doe. The long trip is shortened as their thoughts of the many deer they have previously scouted keep coming to mind. The isolated water holes on the ranch have proved to be the best areas for locating deer. On previous scouting trips, tree stands were put up near the windmills that had the most action, and the ranch owners confirmed that the deer were still using the windmill runoff to water. The next problem was deciding which of the 3 pre-scouted areas to hunt first. Each area before the season had as many deer coming in as the other, and it was tough to decide which one. So after a simple flip of the coin, the windmill area called the Gin was selected as the first spot to hunt. Ronnie chose a camera position on the ground. He likes the challenge of seeing how close deer will get to him while he's on the ground and taking their picture. He also feels that it's more exciting for you to watch the action close up. Now, Tony's tree stand was located in a moss-covered oak right up against the base of the dam, with only the left side of his location blocked by a neighboring tree. Tony had a commanding view of the water hole and the area immediately downwind of the windmill. The downwind approach of the deer did not pose any problems, as we use proven methods of scent control and camouflage. Our ability to get close to animals downwind comes from a lot of painstaking care to eliminate human scent. Before we leave on a hunt, we wash our clothes in an unscented detergent and pack them in plastic airtight bags. Next, if camping facilities will allow, we take a shower using Robinson's unscented soap. When showers are not available, a generous coating of baking soda on both body and hunting clothes will do the trick. Also, a final coat of scent shield on the outer garments help to eliminate any odors. When you get out of your vehicle or just before you get to your hunting area, spray your lacrosse rubber-soled boots with Red Fox urine. Try these methods on your next trip. The combination of these steps and proper camouflage will help you beat the deer's senses. As you can see by the Spanish moss, the wind is blowing directly to the deer, which is just a few yards away from Ronnie. Now, Tony sees a coyote and tries to lure it in with a mouse squeaker. The noise doesn't seem to bother the busily feeding deer. it's obvious who's the boss. The little 8-point wants nothing to do with the Big 10. Good camouflage and scent shield gets the 10 in so close, Ronnie doesn't dare move the camera. Tony decides that this buck is too good to pass up. He waits patiently for the deer to move into position. I bet Tony's watching that deer go down.
Nice shot.
What do you think?
Well, a beautiful 10-point, no doubt.
Yeah. He may be about 5 points shy from the book, but he won't be too close.
He'll look good hanging on the wall.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's so cold up in that tree. Like yesterday, it was -3 degrees chill factor. And I think today's about the same. Oh, it's getting chilly. When he walked over here by you and gave me that open shot, there was no way I could pass him up.
Yeah, he was about 10 yards from me, and I couldn't hardly move over here.
Well, I kind of shot him for self-defense on your part.
I appreciate that.
Well, I could see him from the tree. He did about 180 degrees and crashed out over here.
Oh, he did go down?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's a...
I wish I'd have been up there with you then. Well, let's turn this off, and we'll walk around the pond and go get him then.
Quite ready to wrap up the end of the season.
Congratulations, fine buck, Tony.
Thanks a lot.
So he went around the pond. I lost him when he...
He's last time I saw him was right under that oak tree.
Okay.
And he ought to be out of gas, man. I mean, she got both lungs.
Yeah, it came right through him.
Yeah, he came right through the edge of these wheat sacks and kind of half-mooned it over here there.
Well, when I lost him...
Coyote he came right between where he ran in the water.
Yeah, I heard you squeaking a little mouse call.
That would have been neat if you could have caught him running over here. Yeah, the coyote never heard that little call. I guess it doesn't have enough volume, and I left my big call in the truck.
Well, let's go see that big old buck up close. There he is, right there, Tony. Right there to the left.
Yeah.
See him right on the other side?
Cool, yeah. Want to get it? You'll turn around.
Oh, yeah. What, 150 yards, I think? Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe a little further?
I'd say it's about how far you ran.
Get up here and make sure.
Yeah, he's obviously dead, but never hurts to have an arrow knocked anyway. Let me scoot on up.
I heard that.
Oh, I believe it's all over for him. Looks like both lungs. That's a beautiful deer. He's been fighting some. He's broke the ends off, chipped the ends off all 3 of these points.
Nice 10.
Beautiful 10 for him.
18?
He's going to go,
Close?
I think he's going to be 19 outside.
19 outside.
That's what I'm guessing him. And I'm afraid he's going to miss a buck about 7 or 8 points.
Little thin?
A little thin. He'll make the Texas book, the Lone Star Bowhunters.
I heard that.
But I guess he's going to be about 118, maybe 120. He's symmetrical, beautiful deer. He is an older buck. Look
Is he?
how his teeth are worn down. His front teeth are worn down.
Well, they
here.
sure are, aren't they?
He is an older buck.
Well, good, good. I thought he was, with his circumference, he was a younger buck.
If you'll look right here, get a close-up.
Okay, hang right there and we'll do just that.
You can see where he's been making rubs. He's probably been working some weesach or little mesquite trees because he's got all this green bark all the way up here. Still making rubs.
Well, I tell you what, that
Those rocks are pretty dark too. He's still taking care of some business.
yeah, you could see that when he was up close to me.
Yeah.
Looks like your Hoyt bow and your Easton 2213s and your 125 Thunderhead and that great-looking Woodsey Too Sticks and Limbs camo did the job.
Yes, sir. No complaints. I think everything turned out real good.
That deer was about 15 yards from you
Yeah.
when you busted him, and I was about 10 yards from him, and I got Sticks and Limbs on too, and
He never knew we were there, did
No,
he?
never. And by the way, I never did get a chance to test the wind, but the wind was blowing from me to him.
That's another thing. That's right. Ronnie was facing south, and the wind was blowing north behind us, directly from him to the deer. So that goes to show you that you can beat their nose if you'll go the proper trouble to descent your clothes and your body. And I sure am glad you took that shower.
Nice deer.
It's now late fall as Tony and Ronnie return to Goliad for a new season of hunting windmill whitetails. Now this year, the first setup will be a little water hole that's surrounded by numerous rubs, known as the Coyote. It seemed only fair to give this area a try since they finished last season at the Gin. The drought had continued through the summer and fall, and wind patterns were very predictable. Keeping the wind in mind, they set up a ground blind just off the main trails.
It's about 30 yards to the edge of the water.
As bow hunting luck would have it, an unexpected norther with cold rain and a wind change added to the challenge of hunting whitetails. With a shifting wind, the deer changed their approaching trails leading to the windmill, putting them downwind of the blind. After moving brush and making a few other adjustments, Tony made himself comfortable and got all the noise-making chores out of the way. When hunting on the ground, noise, silhouette, and scent are the big three gotchas of bow hunting. No sooner had our veteran hunters settled in when a sleek 8-point buck appeared, making his way through the weesach, mesquites, and doveweed that surrounded the water hole. Hunting from the ground in open blinds really test the skills of a bow hunter and the effectiveness of their camouflage. As the 8-point leaves, note the rub on the large tree. This is usually the sign of a heavy horn trophy buck that's in the area. Also, notice that the small buck's rear end shows signs of a recent fight. An odd horned 5-point comes into water. Sensing that something is wrong, the young non-typical could not make out the well-camouflaged hunters. The peak of the rut had been 2 to 3 weeks earlier. Although a few bucks were still running does, grunts and rattling had little if no effect on the bucks of the coastal plains. Our plan was to take a trophy buck and a big cull. Earlier this morning, a huge, wide, high-racked buck came in only 17 yards away during legal hunting hours. However, with the cloud cover making it too dark for good, clear video, Ronnie had to hog-tie Tony to keep him from shooting. It would have been Tony's largest deer to date. Tony kept thinking about that buck and the possibility that it might come back in. And he needed a lot of willpower and patience as buck after buck made their way into the water hole. This beautiful high-racked buck was just not quite big enough.
It ain't that real big one though. He's pretty nice. Let's see where he goes to. He's a little bitty one. Is he a shooter? Rattle his horns if you want to.
The cold rain eventually joined the steady parade of bucks that were coming into the windmill. Now, because action was most evident in a draw out of range from the first setup, a few tree limbs were laid close by, so Tony would have a chance at a better shot. The new location, just a few yards from the old one, put Tony in an ideal position for a shot, should that trophy come in. Now, the wind was still blowing from the blind to the draw, so an extra dose of scent shield was applied, and fox pea sprayed on the overhanging limbs. When these wary whitetails get a glimpse of you, or think something's wrong, don't be fooled by the old head in the grass trick. One false move at the wrong time and you'll get to see why they're called whitetails. By wearing camouflage over their rain gear, Tony and Ronnie were able to keep quiet and dry. To help keep the camera equipment from getting wet, a poncho was attached to the limbs overhead. This kept everything dry while the rhythmic sound of raindrops made for a relaxing afternoon. While deer came and went most of the afternoon, there was a period when nothing came in at all. It wasn't too long before the reason showed up. A big herd of feral hogs moved into the Windmill area. The next morning, dark clouds, a slow rain, and big bucks waited for our boys at the Gin Windmill. Dark as it was, Ronnie had the gain on his camera wide open to let as much light in as possible. With 3 big deer under them, it was an opportunity he couldn't pass up. Notice that on this deer, Ronnie never stops the camera. It's always been said that animals will go to water when injured. This rare footage is a great example of such behavior, and also a reminder not to push an animal too fast or too soon. You might lose him.
What time is it?
7:09. 7:09. We shot him at straight 7 o'clock. He came in at 6:41. No, 6:31. He just crawled up on the bank right there. Just crawled out of the water on the bank. My lucky hat is working. It's doing it.
Look at this buck's swelled neck. A few does trickle into the area, but the bucks keep chasing them off. One nervous doe finally gives Tony a shot. Her high-strung reaction just barely gets her neck out of the way. After the shot cleared the area, Mother Nature called on Tony. Now, while he tended to business and Uncle Sam's Air Force flew overhead, this beautiful 9-point buck came in. Ronnie was finally able to get Tony's attention toward the big buck, and Tony crawled back to the base of the tree, his bow laying just out of Ronnie's reach. Tony eased his way back up the tree. Without slow, quiet movement and good camouflage, he would never have been able to get back into position without totally alerting the nice buck. The handsome buck came in real close, but he circled around the clearing one more time before coming back. It looks like there might be something more interesting than food or water in the woods. The spine shot put the buck down fast. To show you why you should aim low on these big Texas deer, watch how far he drops in reaction to the release of the arrow. The dot shows the perfect heart-lung shot. Now, because the deer dropped, Tony's hit ended up high, and he was aiming at the deer's belly line. Had the handsome buck been 5 yards farther away, the arrow would have sailed harmlessly over his back.
That's what deer hunting's like in South Texas. Beautiful 8-point.
Think he'll go poking young?
He's gonna be close. He's gonna be hunting. And I want to thank my fine white eastern bow for doing a mighty fine job and my thunderhead broadheads. But I told you I was gonna wear my lucky hat, my lucky coveralls, and my lucky boots today. And it has been a lucky day. This was actually the day we'd planned to go home. I guess we've seen a little over 50 bucks in the last 2.5 days. Most all of which were 8 points or better, and about 10 or 15% 18-inch spread or better. And 3 or 4 would have made Pope and Young. This guy might not make it, but won't be too far. I'm guessing him right now at about 115 points. When this deer first came down, as Ronnie showed you, I had to have a nature call and gone over here by the tank and came up and he caught me right at the base of the tree. And I creep by creep, crawl by crawl, eased up the steps, but there was just enough noise and I put a few grunts out to make him walk back. Well, there's a hot doe back here in the brush, and he walked back there between a little bit of disturbance and that. And then we came back here and calmed down, and here he eased back out and gave us a shot we wanted. Beautiful deer taken here on the Shar Ranch in Goliad, Texas, Goliad County. The first buck that we shot, we think's a big, real tall 6-point. He was one of 5 bucks that were in the area, and we shot him at 7:09. We shot this buck at 8:09. And we've pretty well had bucks coming in all the way till about 9 or 9:30 here every morning that the weather wasn't be too bad. Like yesterday, it was raining, and as it was last night too. But 2 bucks, 2 hours. Pretty nice way to start and end your Texas deer season. But we still got a couple of does to shoot, so we might not put up the camera and the bow and arrow just yet. Oh yeah, and I think the cameraman brought a bow and arrow too. Is that right, Ronnie? We may have to turn Ronnie loose and switch ends on this. So I'm sure this isn't the end of the story, but it's a beautiful thing. I think we did good, buddy. How's he look going away?
Looks pretty good.
You're right, he is a 9-point. He's going to be about 18 or 19 inches. A little light for Pope and Young. He's a beautiful animal. Prime shape. Nice dog catchers. Yeah, we'll take a few pictures and take care of him, field dress him, and then we'll go get buck number 2. Or number 1, actually. Might mention that buck number 1 was a cull buck. He was obviously an older buck, and we don't believe he had brow tines, and that's considered a buck that's already ran his course, fully matured on the downhill side, and real nice trophy, but a deer that needs to be removed from the herd. Maybe his last year. Beautiful deer. December the 1st, Goliad County, in beautiful South Texas. Beautiful, historic South Texas.
Before starting cleaning chores, it was time to check on buck number 1. Through the brush, you can see his antlers are still erect, which means we'll wait a little bit longer.
That's the first buck that came in this morning. And it's, what time is it, about 9:30?
9:33.
And it was too dark to shoot him with the camera or the bow.
Yeah, he's dark horn. Pretty deer. Beautiful deer. Let's make it clear it wasn't too dark to shoot a bow and arrow. It was too dark to shoot a bow and arrow and a camera. But that saved the life of 2 or 3. It seems like this big 10-point just won't go away. He's standing back over here in the brush watching us cut on this deer at about 70 yards. And I guess he's about 120 points. He's not quite Pope and Young.
Is he down?
His head's down. I can't see him if he's breathing.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's did it. Looks like 2 lungs and a liver to me. Get Steve in here. What do you think,
Oh
Steve?
man, yeah.
Old deer?
Oh yeah.
Last time around?
Old deer. Yeah, he was definitely on the downhill side. Way on the downhill side. Yeah.
Look at these
pretty slick.
gnarled,
Oh
warty,
man,
whatever
good
you want to
beams,
call
though.
it.
I mean, you know, heavy.
Yeah, he's gonna be another 18-incher.
Boy, that's a pretty deer. He's old. Look at his forehead.
Here comes Kelly, just to be sure that we didn't lose the deer. We thought he was down, but we had Steve and Kelly Shar, the ranch owners, come over here to accompany us to be sure that the wounded animal didn't get away.
Good shit, he bled out real well.
All white-faced here.
Yeah, he's old. And not a sign of a brow tire.
You kind of like these warty horns too. What do you call those?
Funk. Lots of funk. Yeah, he's neat. Nice deer.
White-faced.
Done his deed and time to go to the table and eat.
Yeah,
neat.
he didn't make it long after he got out of that water. I'm kind of glad he did. Ronnie was looking forward to me getting wet.
The old swimming hole.
I still can't believe he laid down in that water.
Yeah. I'm here with my hunting host and supreme hostess, my supreme deer hunter, Kelly Shar. We were just looking at this buck, which we've already decided unquestionably was a cull, but when you see these rubs and scrapes in South Texas, particularly on these Weisach and mesquite trees, looks like that's what he's doing, doesn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, he's been grinding.
So he has been making some bodacious rubs, and besides his white face, you can just a quick look here at his front teeth. You can see they're less than half the length that they should be. Tell you he's an older deer. And Steve checked his back teeth, and they're ground down with no ridges. So we'll put the complete age on him later, but he's probably 6.5 or 7.5-year-old deer, and probably was going to be his last roundup. It obviously is now.
Well, look how poor he is. Look at his backbone.
Yeah, Kelly pointed out if you look along right here and see that his backbone is literally showing up.
Yeah, he wasn't going to make it to the year.
But he's a trophy buck in anybody's book, and the neat thing about it is you can take a buck like this and get him out of the herd because he probably didn't have a year to live and had nothing much more valuable to contribute, and make somebody happy, and he doesn't go to waste.
Having taken pictures and cleaned the deer, Tony and Ronnie joined Kelly and Steve for a bite to eat back at the cabin. After a quick lunch and a change of clothes, they came back to the gin in hopes for a shot at a doe. But all that came in for the rest of the evening were bucks.
My feathers may be wet, the tree may be soaked, but we're still hunting. It's been raining nearly every afternoon and every morning here. That's a pretty rare occurrence for South Texas. But it's still raining and we're still hunting. Ain't we, Ronnie? My cameraman looks like he's a cross between a terrorist and Santa Claus in all his rain gear. But we're staying dry.
Yeah, they were still hunting and still filming, and bucks were still coming in. In fact, the water hole was getting kind of crowded. The little blue marker is 20 yards from the base of the tree. Oh, now that's a good-looking buck. Look at the aggressive bend in the big boy's neck. Watch the power that these two bucks have during their short fight. Even though the bigger horned buck was run off, it was clearly a case of old experience over wishful thinking youth. You sure can bet that the young one will try again next year. As you might have noticed, this older buck is running everyone off. Now, it's not because of any does in the area. It's just a simple case of territorial rights. And he is the big boy on the block. The next morning brought wind and sunshine. Tony opted for the windy tree, while our cameraman thought he could do better on the ground.
Look pretty good to me. What do you think?
I think she's down. You wanna go see if we can find her now?
Yeah, let's go check.
Okay.
She was right in this area. There's an arrow right there.
Little bent.
There's real good blood right here. I think I got her jugular vein. I had just a little hole to shoot through, but I've been shooting silver dollars at that distance all week after I checked it with my rangefinder and our markers. You can see this good blood on out through here.
She went down, didn't she? Oh yeah, there she is. Right over there, yeah.
There's the deer, yeah.
this rub. I bet she just did this, I bet, when she hit a tree. I believe this has just happened. Yeah, this just happened. She hit a tree coming in here and did this. Went in the neck, came out the heart.
She looks like she might taste good on the table.
Just before Christmas, got a nice fat doe.
Let's go see if we can get another one.
You know, that last little buck, it was interesting how he didn't jump down a bit. If you recall, I told you when I was going to shoot at him, I aimed at his bottom silhouette.
Yeah.
And that deer followed that arrow in, you know, and he didn't move a bit.
I know, he didn't drop anything. Usually, you know, they'll boom right down and drop right in front of him. And
I think that proves the fact that that they actually know exactly where the arrow's going on them, you know.
I think they can sense, of course, you know, when they drop, they can react. And that's, you know, that's when they're dropping down.
Yeah,
right there.
because if he would have dropped, he'd have been sharing this frying pan
Instead of that other doe.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Well, we're back in here in the kitchen. We're fixing to eat some of that doe y'all saw us shoot earlier. And we've got a nice little recipe that we're going to call Kelly steaks, because we kind of borrowed this little recipe here from the ranch owner, Kelly Shar. And what we're going to do here, we have got some meat, fresh doe meat that we've just taken off that young doe that we killed earlier. And we have taken a metal meat tenderizer and have tenderized this meat on both sides so it's real thin. And what we're going to do, we've already got some stuff here mixed up. We've got some milk and some egg that we beat together. We put it in here, soak it just for a hair, put it in our fresh flour that we have, and cover that up real good. And we've got a skillet with about a 1/2 inch of grease at about 350 degrees.
Man, that smells good.
Oh, already. And we're going to put these in here. Oh, soak them first. Get them floured up real good.
Yeah, I'm gonna need plenty to eat if I want to carry that camera around tomorrow. I think it weighs a few more pounds than that bow does.
Yeah, you'll need to be on your best, that's for sure.
I understand you cameramen have to go that extra mile.
Yeah, well, we got to outdo them other guys that we always videotape when we're when we're behind the camera. Y'all get to have all the fun. But Tony's already got his limit, and he's got him one doe now, and we're gonna try to get the old cameraman one. But tonight we are hungry, and we're gonna eat some of this good deer meat that we've got going here. It only takes about a minute and a half to 2 minutes if you get them thin enough on the right hand to get it good and right before you have to turn it. Can y'all hear that sizzling? It's a shame this isn't smell-o-vision.
Really? That'll be the next thing, scratch and sniff deer videos.
There you go. You don't have to let this soak very long in your milk and eggs.
Yeah, the whole point of it's just to get some of the flour will stick on it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, Tony. Exactly. I think I got one
The
more.
crust built up.
And of course too, now we used egg because we had anticipated on having some of these good steaks after Kelly the other night told us about this little recipe when she picked some fresh pig this way, and she said deer meat tastes just as good. Oh, look at that golden brown. Oh yeah. Turn those over. But you can use just plain milk if you can't have egg, or if you don't like egg in your meat product. Now we've already cooked some, so for illustration purposes, but what you do after you cook it, you have you some paper towels, and you place your meat on the paper towel. That way it kind of soaks up some of that extra grease that might still be in there. I don't know about you, Tony, but those steaks look mighty good right there.
They sure do, I'm telling you. I don't know if they're going to be able to wait for the rest of them.
Oh, I heard that. Well, hey, what are you doing?
Yum, yum in my tum-tum.
Hey, listen, I think you've got to help out a little bit more before you can go cut to the front of the line.
You don't say.
How is that, Andrea? Well, Andrea, you know every good guy carries a sharp knife, but in South Texas, they also carry their hot saw. And in my other holster, I've got my hot saw. And if you're going to sit there and have a little taste, we'll have a little taste too.
Yeah, this is
Put
my
a
little
shot of hot sauce on
I
it.
heard that. This is my little girl. I thought they were out at the barn playing or something, but undoubtedly they smelled this and came on in. And that's what they look like right there, folks. Kelly steaks.
That's delicious.
Is that good? And you can cut this with a fork, and it'll be probably some of the best tasting deer meat. People that don't necessarily like deer meat will love how this tastes because the flavor is just perfect, superb. And of course, now one of the good things about this is you take your flour and your egg and milk combination, pour a little grease off, and make some good tasting gravy.
You bet.
And I get to hunt in the morning, so we're fixing to sit down and eat. And we're going to get my appetite quenched real quick. I've got a big old tall glass of iced tea, and I think Tony's got him a little bit bigger glass of iced tea than I get. He got in here and got the big glass before I did.
Yeah, tonight you can put together the broadheads and I'll clean the camera.
Okay. We'll see y'all back in the morning. I think we're going to hunt the coyote because a lot of big deer coming in there, and I sure do like that coyote.
That's your spot.
That's mine. We'll see y'all back outside.
Tony gets excited and cuts the camera off.
There's a javelina. There's a javelina.
That was one javelina by itself, wasn't it?
Right behind you, about 4 feet. But he blended in with the black of the camera. And until he walked that way, I couldn't make him out.
That's 2 coyotes, 3 bucks. It'll have a javelina the last 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's noon and 18 degrees.
Yeah.
Let her rip.
Let it rip. Horn rattling, right? See, how do they do that? Is that how they do that?
That's a good start.
Well, rattling is not quite that easy, and the bucks still were not reacting to it. Ronnie's first shot goes to the left of the alert deer. It's tough to hit one at 30 yards when he's looking right at you.
What do you think about it, Ronnie?
I think we got a doe coming up. I do. 2 of them. That's what I think.
Come on, Ronnie. Does don't have horns. After this long shot, Ronnie moved in behind some brush, closer to where the deer were coming in. Now, before moving, he sprayed on some more scent shield to help eliminate any giveaway odors. A short wait later, this big Pope and Young 10-point came in. It stayed right in front of Tony for more than 10 minutes before being scared off by cows coming into the windmill. Now, although Ronnie was only 20 yards to the right of this big buck, the low overhanging mesquite limbs didn't give him enough room to get an arrow off. This one won't be hanging in the living room, but just being close to a beautiful animal such as this will provide more than enough memories. And that's what bow hunting's all about. So, if a drought or long dry spell has water in your hunting area at a premium, try setting up near a water hole. And to enjoy bow hunting with some real close-up excitement, try using the techniques used while we were hunting Windmill Whitetails. The producers of Windmill Whitetails would like to thank their sponsors, New Archery Products and the Thunderhead 125. Tree stands from API. Fine compound bows by Hoyt USA. Saunders Archery Company for easy-to-see sights when light is low. Lacrosse footwear for comfortable boots that last. Scent shield and accessories by Robinson. And Sticks and Limbs Camo by Woodsey Too Camouflage.
There is a reason those geese were going south, and all I got to say to this cold weather is,
What he was really laughing at was I had turned the camera around this way so I could get on his video somehow. But what he didn't know was I had turned the camera off and I wasn't doing nothing. But I got it on now, so I'm gonna say what I said a while ago. I said, does this look like a guy that is warm